It's good to be here, nice, thanks.
Um, Dan Patch Award, was it? Is it 4 times in a row? How does that work?
I don't know, maybe the voters feel sorry for me, I guess. But it was another good year, Nige. Thanks, mate. And, I got to drive lots of fast horses, so made my job easy.
So, how does it work? How does it work? So it's voted on by the Writers Association or something?
Yeah, so like all the awards, I think there's maybe 50. I think it's, people in the industry get a vote from different states, from all different states in America. And, they just vote for who they think should get the awards. So, lucky they, for a bit of an honour really, they've picked me.
So it's not all about money won, or it's not about amount of wins, it's about overall. So it's a combination of everything.
I think it's just basically, mixing really of how the season went for that person. So it works for like that for every vote for every category for the awards. So, from 2-year-old pacer or filly or colt and all right through to horse of the year. So, and obviously trainers and owners and breeders as well.
So when you arrived over there in the States, how difficult was it to pick up drives? I think you had a lot of support from some ex-New Zealanders.
Yeah, I did. I was really lucky. Obviously, Chris Ryder was my first contact point for helping me out, and then Nifty Norman gave me a big boost too earlier on. But it definitely started off a little slow, Nige, the first 6 months, which was expected, So, and then built on it probably over that first winter I was there and got going, and then got some good chances early into that first full season I was there, and sort of snowballed from that.
Yeah, a lot of guys come from New Zealand and head over to Australia and have a crack and find it very difficult. I suppose it'd be like an Aussie coming to New Zealand. It's like, really want to put someone else on the horses. And
yeah, it's probably when I first went over there, wasn't really known too much. So which is fair enough. People don't really want to put you on the horses in the big races, especially. So they don't know, how much you're going to stuff up. So you're not really wanting to give you a chance. But when you get your chance, when you're trying to get going, I said you just got to make the most of it.
So as a driver, do you talk to the trainers? Do you say, hey, look, I think you should, let's stick a pole on this horse, or put a Murphy on it? Do they take any notice of you?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, for sure. They, I think all the successful trainers over there want feedback on how their horse raced and, tweaks they can do to make the horse go better. So, they're always, keen for a bit of advice or just their opinion of how the horse was out on the track, because I think no matter how much a trainer trains their horse at home and think they have the right gear on, it's always different on race day. So, I think I've found all the top trainers over there always, wanting feedback after the race of how the horse steered and performed out there.
It's always unusual when I'm sitting there watching them on telly over here and watching the Meadowlands or whatever else, and it's sort of think, well, why is that guy letting you in, or how does it? I don't get to sort of work it out. Over here it's like you're driving down the road, you don't let anyone in your lane. It's sort of like, it's Christchurch drivers, I suppose.
Right.
But how does it work there? You sort of see people pull back and let you in. Is it?
Well, it's sometimes you'll want to put a horse in, drop a horse in to get it out of the way, because if you don't let it in, it's going to probably sit outside you. If it's not a horse that's good enough to keep going forward, and you sort of want to get it away. But probably the main reason, Nige, is you want to put a horse in front of you to follow it up later in the race. So it's sort of just the tactics you play over there with the way the style of racing is over there, and sort of how they do it. You sort of fit in that, and whenever you go to race in the world, you've got to adjust to sort of the style and try and make it work like that.
So how hard was it when you arrived there to suddenly, where you could push out here and do all sorts of things? Are the rules totally different there?
Yeah, well, it is different racing. Obviously, smaller fields, there's usually only 10 in the race, and obviously racing over the mile. But, I was lucky I spent that 3 months over there back in 2011 and had a little experience and taste of it. Not that I had a bunch of drives, but driven a bit, got to drive a little bit over there. So, this time before I went, I sort of understood the racing style and how they did things, so it probably helped me a little bit. It wasn't really going in 100% blind to the situation.
So the studying of the fields, again, I suppose when you first arrived there, you wouldn't know the horses. Now you've been in amongst them all the time. Do you spend much time looking at them, working them out?
Yeah, so it's like when I first got over there, like obviously the race books are a lot different than the race books over here with how they're printed on what the horse did its past 5 starts. So it took a little bit of time to get used to that. And like you said though, you sort of know, especially in the bigger races, all the good horses, you race against them all year long, so you sort of know the horse. But you still got to do your study, you got to know your opposition, and you know, you quite often see a horse that's getting a new driver, and that driver might be a bit more aggressive out of the gate than the previous driver. So your horse, you know, you might just have to be prepared for it to, you know, can change the race, and over the shorter distance, you know, one leaves that you're not expecting, it can change your game plan pretty quick.
Cool. Well, thanks for your quick insight into that. I'm going to re-record you in a minute and get a bit more info out of you, Dexter. Thank you.
All right, beautiful, Nige.